It's not even good, to be honest. That's the thing about the nitro cold brew is that it's made already, so all they do is just fill it like a beer tap kind of thing. Versus me getting like just a vanilla sweet cream cold brew where they have to do the 4 pumps and actually make it. So I feel like, you know, when you go to McDonald's and the sweet tea, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not.
I don't drink coffee from McDonald's.
That's
you said
not
sweet tea?
what I said.
I'm about to get crazy.
You're trying to play me because I drink McDonald's coffee. It's not that my palate is bad, it's that I'm broke. Like, I'm cheap. That's why I like it. I never drink it to say it tastes good. I drink it because it gets the job done and it's good for my
because
pockets.
it's different every time you get it.
That's
you know
fine.
why?
You know what's the same every
It's a
time?
13-year-old making it every time.
Okay,
It's
you know
either
what's
a
the same every
13-year-old or a
time? It costs
93-year-old.
$1. That's the same every time.
Okay.
This was like $6, bro. I don't have $6 every day. You got $6 every day?
No.
No, so you better have some McDonald's coffee. It'll be
Alright.
bad, but it'll be $1. That's consistent.
I'd rather eat the dollar.
And paper or coin?
Either one.
You're gross.
It's got to be better
You're
than the
gross.
coffee.
Definitely coin. Hey, honey.
What's up, baby?
What are we doing today?
Today we are going to be talking about big controversy that's going around with Dababy.
Can we get his real name? Because I refuse to say that.
Call this man Dababy
I just don't want to be like, so when the baby said...
I bet it's Calvin. Marcus.
Oh my god, I googled his name and I'm just getting all the... His name is Jonathan.
Ah, Jonathan.
A
Okay.
respectable young man.
Jonathan what?
Kirk.
Jonathan? That's a fake name.
No, like... What's the... I was thinking of Kirk... The guy, the... Oh my god, the gospel guy. Kirk Franklin?
Kirk Franklin?
Okay. I couldn't remember his name.
Mr. Jonathan is in some heat because...
Mr. Jonathan Baby.
Mr. Jonathan Baby. Mr. Jonathan D. Baby. is facing some heat because of some comments he made at a concert. Lollapalooza?
Yeah, Lollapalooza.
Lollapalooza. So he went on stage and he said...
Don't even read it.
I'm not even going to read it. He went on some kind of rant, whatever. The music was cut off and he said, yeah, to all my fans.
So basically he did what a lot of people do in concerts where they say like, you got $20 bill, put your hands up, right? You came here and you got money, throw a lighter up.
Except he went for some really weird, really specific
things.
He said if you ain't got one of those diseases that kill you in 3 to 4 days, like HIV, put a lighter up. If you weren't in the parking lot
doing things,
essing some D before the concert.
But he said like fellas.
Yeah.
If you that's
put some lighters, put your lighters up.
So there were girls that were doing that in the parking lot. They were like, oh no, he said fellas. It was very specific.
Very, very weird, very specific.
And he's in trouble.
Not if you have money in your pocket. I don't know where he's going.
Yeah, no, $20 bill, put your hands up. That's what he was going for.
There was backlash. He made an apology, as people often do, because the backlash started up and, it was getting wave. And then he made an apology in the first place that said something along the lines of, I'm not homophobic. I have gay fans. I party with everybody. I was partying with the gay dude with the crop top.
My dude in the crop top, we were vibing.
we were having a good time.
Lit.
He wasn't offended, therefore no one should be offended.
He basically said that you had to be there. That the vibe of the concert, everybody was having a good time, that nobody was offended by it, and that you had to be there to understand, and that we are reading too far into it.
He said specifically, things always seem different when you get a 3 to 5 minute clip of something and you don't get the whole context of the show, and like his fans knows what he was talking about.
But he also was saying that, so like if he said like if you don't have HIV or AIDS, like put a lighter up, that wasn't him talking badly about the LGBTQ community, because his gay fans are classy.
Oh, they're classy.
And
they don't have nasty
diseases. Like, honestly, when I was watching the apology, I was like, just stop talking. Just stop talking. I swear, he literally said, like, yo, my gay fans are classy.
They're classy. They're
not
clean.
They're not, what's the word for, like, crackheads in the street? Junkies. That's what he said. He said, my gay fans are classy. They ain't junkies in the street. And then he also says something like, when I'm talking about my men that are out here S&Ds in the parking lot, my gay fans are they don't do that, okay? They got a hotel, they got a room,
okay.
They do it in their house. Like, it just was bad.
So that was his apology.
Was it?
So naturally, for some people that didn't really sit well. So then
they did not accept.
They did not accept that apology. So therefore, the backlash
I feel
grew
like we're being really loud.
swifter. This is something to get loud about. So the backlash grew swifter. It grew bigger, and so they started canceling his shows, pulling his concerts, whatever. So then he made a more sensible second apology. Like, I don't remember exactly.
Along the lines of, if I offended anybody, I did not mean to.
Yeah, and then he also said something along the lines of, people are so quick to destroy. Bless you, sorry. People are so quick to destroy before anyone can even learn and grow from their mistakes. Mm-hmm. So he, in reference to the fact that he's getting canceled and these shows are getting pulled, he's like, you didn't even give me time to learn before you decided that, like, I'm unsavable kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Feel how you want to feel about that. But somewhere in between the first apology and the second apology, mm-hmm. My man T.I., Clifford Harris, who is often in trouble himself, he's no stranger to backlash. He's no stranger to backlash. So he came to Dababy's defense? Question mark? So T.I. said, in regards to Lil Nas X's openness in his sexuality and his music, because Lil Nas X right now is doing a lot of things where he's
doing a lot of things.
He's doing a lot of things on stage, in videos, whatever, and he's just making a big show of his sexuality and he's not hiding anything. So then T.I. said, for instance, in the Lil Nas X shit, the performances and videos, man, I got a lot of respect for bruh because he had the courage to live his truth, but that shit ain't for me. Just look at it, and I don't want my children seeing it either. He expanded on that comment later in the video saying, if you have a Lil Nas X video and him living his truth, you gon' damn sure have people like Dababy who are speaking they truth. There ain't nothing wrong with none of that. It ain't got to be no hate, it's all honesty.
Okay. Ask me your question.
So,
you're getting me fired up a little bit.
Reading that, right? So, basically what he's saying, to boil it down, is that if Lil Nas X can have his views and say them openly on stage at his music performances, why can't Dababy have his views and say them openly at his music performances? What's the difference, and why are we canceling Dababy and not trying to cancel Lil Nas X?
We're canceling Dababy because he calls himself Dababy. No, I'm just kidding. The difference is, what Dababy is promoting is hate. Mm. And what Lil Nas X is promoting is, I mean, not to sound corny, but like love and like loving yourself and being true to yourself and being who you are. And I think what Lil Nas X is doing is trying to show little boys or just boys or men who are struggling with their sexuality that it's okay to be yourself and whoever that is. Dababy is not trying to show little homophobes that it's okay to be homophobic.
Maybe he is.
But it's promoting hate. What he's promoting is putting other people down. And that, like, toxic masculinity is not something that people want to see. They want to see people who are promoting love. Don't get me wrong. Lil Nas X he's out there. You know, I watch his videos and I wouldn't want his videos on the TV when Ava walks by. You know what I mean? Because it really is out there. So I get what T.I. is saying, as far as, like, wouldn't want his kids to see it, but not because I'm ashamed or because I hate anything that Lil Nas X is representing. I just think Ava's a little bit young. I feel like his videos are very, very sexual, and she's our child. So even if it was women that he was doing those things to, I would still feel the same way.
Right.
So it makes me uncomfortable because it's so sexual.
Same way you don't necessarily like the way Megan Good's performances, Meg Thee Stallion's performances happen.
Same
all the
thing.
time.
So
they were at what was that? Like either the Thanksgiving Day parade or something like that. It was very public, very live.
Oh,
and it was
the
like
BET Awards.
It was crazy.
Yeah, so like the same way I wouldn't be comfortable with Ava watching like the WAP video with Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion, I'm not comfortable with her watching Lil Nas X video, but not because Lil Nas X is gay, just because it's super over sexualized and that's not appropriate for a 10-year-old. And Lil Nas X is very big on the fact that he does not make music for 10-year-olds.
Right.
Fine. What the baby
that's a different rapper.
It is. What Dababy is promoting is hate, and what he's saying is offensive, and what he's saying is hurting people. And there's a lot of people in the world that don't care for what Lil Nas X is doing, and that's fine. That's their business, but he's not hurting anybody by doing it.
What would you say then to those people like T.I. or like other people?
I don't care what T.I. has to say.
What would you say to like a religious person that is like, what Lil Nas X is doing is directly hurting me and hurting my family and like.
At the end of the day, you don't have to watch any of this stuff. So if you believe that Lil Nas X is, I wish they had normal names. Like holy crap. If you believe what Lil Nas X is doing is hurtful, if it's against your religion, against your beliefs, makes you uncomfortable, don't buy his albums, don't watch his videos, don't give him your views, don't give him your money. Same thing as Dababy. Dababy is hurting a lot of people, but there are a lot of LGBTQ people who supported Dababy who are deciding not to give him their money anymore. So the same thing if a religious person loved Lil Nas X back when he was doing Old Town Road.
I got some horses in the bag.
Baby, how many people do you think were like, oh, what a wholesome song? And now they're like, whoa, this is not what I signed up for. So now they are no longer listening to Lil Nas X. You can be a fan of whoever you want to be a fan of. That's your business. But what Dababy is doing is promoting hate. I like Lil Nas X. I liked Dababy. But to see that one is promoting self-love and the other one is promoting toxic masculinity, it does make me feel some type of way about Jonathan.
So then... Now, my whole thing is, first of all, I don't agree with T.I.
No one ever agrees with T.I. He's so problematic.
I don't know what's wrong with this man.
I don't know why people keep asking him what he thinks. People keep asking him questions.
He went on a press conference in Atlanta, remember that? And he said Atlanta is Wakanda and we got to save it.
Can we talk about what he does to his children?
After Murder Mike came on the thing and was just preaching this very eloquent, very smart... No, because this is not about T.I. T.I. is not on trial here. But listen... what we're talking about though is I don't agree with T.I.
Yep.
But I do think that first of all, why is it okay? So you're saying the problem is the toxic masculinity and spreading that ideal and spreading that culture and stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. Is that not hip hop culture?
It is.
Hip hop culture is toxic masculinity. It is calling people soft and saying you S&D and doing that. Like, I love Pop Smoke. Pop Smoke.
We love Pop Smoke,
like,
sure.
I really, really like Pop Smoke. In the song Dior, for example, he has a thing where he's just like...
You gonna bleep me out? You gonna bleep me out?
Yeah.
Get these gay. You cannot say that!
All in my comments.
You can't
commenting all in my pictures. Something while I'm whatever.
Alright, no more bleeps.
Yeah. Beep, beep, beep. So he's saying all of that, right?
Yep.
People love that song. Whatever. Eminem, all the time, he was saying that stuff. People love those. Like, how come when they say it on the record, when they say it in the music, it's all good. We can sell 50 million albums. But they say it on stage at a concert and it's like, oh, well, that's inappropriate. And we got to cancel them.
It's not all good.
But it is, though, because the music industry profits on that up until the fans get outraged. Then they want to pretend like they're with the fans on this and they're outraged too. But yeah, they're the ones who are perpetuating this stuff.
The music business is going to pull whatever concert, festival, album because the people don't want it. So, like, it's not like the people who are throwing Dababy's concerts are upset he's a homophobe, so they're saying we don't want you to perform anymore. It's all about the fans, it's all about the money.
It's all about the controversy.
Eminem did get in trouble for the things that he said, and he had to apologize for it, and that's why he did the concert with
he didn't necessarily have to apologize. There's people, Lil Boosie, been homophobic for years. Mm-hmm. No one's canceling Lil Boosie.
Sing a Lil Boosie song right now. 5, 4. Okay, so it makes a difference. it makes a difference because if you sat there right now and sang a song from someone who you're saying has been a homophobe for the last decade, you know, it absolutely makes a difference. So Eminem felt he had to
50 Cent has been a homophobe for decades.
And people hate
when
that.
Empire came up on the rise, his whole thing was that, how y'all gonna like Empire over my show when that show is really, really gay?
Okay, but a lot of people don't like 50 Cent.
Yeah, but he's still making big time money.
They're always still gonna make big time money at the end of the day. People love Trump.
You can only cancel people so much.
But I'm saying, like, it doesn't really matter how horrible someone's views are. They're still gonna have fans regardless. But you do lose fans over this. And Eminem lost fans and felt the need to apologize. We don't know too much about Pop Smoke because he passed away. But you don't know how many gay kids were bumping his album until they heard that and turned it off. We have no idea.
So I think, and it's like there is a difference, but it's kind of hard to quantify what it is because, like I said, there's religious people who have the same exact views as some of the, you know what I mean? Like,
sure.
To be homophobic is kind of culturally ingrained in black culture. It sucks, but like
I wouldn't say homophobia is ingrained in
not
black
homophobic,
culture,
but like
toxic masculinity.
An aversion to feminine. Yeah. Like men being any sort of feminine.
Sure.
That's like part of black culture. All my life growing up in New York, like you just hear like, yo, he's soft.
Don't cry.
He's a punk. You
better fight. Don't cry.
You know what I mean?
Like yeah.
And yo, that's gay, and you're a F and like F word and all that stuff. Like it's just part of the culture, and that's why it's part of hip hop culture because hip hop culture is young black. Urban culture that's like grown into something bigger than that.
Yeah.
And it's like, but that's also the views of more conservative black religious people as well in the community.
It's not necessarily black.
Well, but like I just mean like within the black community, as like from the people who are ultra religious and go to church on Sundays to the people who are in the streets selling drugs, there's a common thread of like we don't like gay people.
Yeah.
Like, so if he comes from that, and if T.I. comes from that, and other people come from that, it's like, they kind of, it's like normal to them, and they're just speaking their opinion. It's not like they're spreading hate, because that hate, like, they don't have to spread it. It's already there. It's part of their culture.
Okay.
Like, it's a baseline level of hate, or disrespect at the very least, if not hate.
Yeah.
There's a baseline level of disrespect. I think that's the best way to put it, because, like, they don't respect that, like, as a culture. So it's like, if they come out and they say something like that, it's not the fact that they're spreading hate or they're telling anyone to do anything about it. They're just like, yo, for me, like, I'm not with that. And that's how they express it because they don't know how to speak. But, like...
So, my major point about all of this is the fact that when it comes to freedom of speech,
right,
you can say whatever you want to say. But, I mean, at the end of the day, people are not always going to like what you have to say. That doesn't take your right away from having freedom of speech. But you need to be prepared for the consequences.
Freedom of speech is not freedom from consequences.
It's not, especially if you are someone who is as big as some of these artists.
Right.
So if Dababy grew, I feel so weird.
Jonathan.
If Jonathan grew up with this kind of mentality, he grew up in a home that went to church all the time. I think he's like from the South.
He absolutely did. From the South, even.
Yeah.
Like, not only do you have black culture, you have hip hop culture, you have Southern, like, so they don't respect that.
If that's
so,
how
like,
he grew up, that's fine. But in a way, he is a person of power. He is a person who, his opinions matter. He has this huge following, and you need to be extremely careful on how you express yourself because you will see your career go from something on its way up, which Dababy was, to literally getting your shows canceled.
I think he'll bounce back from this.
I mean, they usually do, but it's just important that even if this is what he truly believes and you don't believe he is spreading hate, if you believe that he is speaking his truth the same way Lil Nas X is speaking his truth, is Lil Nas X not losing people because he's speaking his truth? It's all the same. But what Dababy is doing is he's going to lose people a lot faster because what he's doing is negative. Lil Nas X is promoting self-love and being yourself and loving yourself and that kind of thing. And he's losing fans also, but because his message is more on the positive, you get more people that are like, happy for the kid, you know, that he's happy and self-love, just not for me. There's not a lot of people that are saying like Dababy saying like
I get what he's saying.
I get what he's saying.
It's just not for me.
You know, if that's how he feels, then I respect it, because everybody has an opinion. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a homophobe, but at the same time, I don't go to gay pride every year like to support. Like it's not something that I have a direct connection to. Like, to each his own. As long as whatever you do is your business.
Live your life.
Live your life. But I don't feel that way about like, a homophobic rant. Like, Dababy, just live your life. Like,
it's like, how come we can't just be like, yeah, you know what, Dababy, live your life. That's how you feel. And then like on top, still cancel him or whatever, but still just they're outraged at the fact that he would even have the gall, the nerve to say something like that. But if that's how he truly feels, why can't he just say what he feels?
Because he's hurting.
Even though there's consequences.
He's hurting people. Who is Lil Nas X hurting? I mean, when he was gyrating on Satan, it hurt my eyes. It was a lot. But like, who is Lil Nas X hurting by being that person? It even makes me kind of sad that they're comparing the two, only because.
Well, only T.I.'s dumbass compared to.
Oh my God. No, but just in general, I think that people are saying like, hey, they're both speaking their truths, and like, what's the difference? It's like, what Lil Nas X is doing.
So earlier you said.
Wow.
Sorry, I just wanted to throw something on top real quick so that you can elaborate on it more. Earlier you said, if you don't want to see it, just turn off the TV. You don't want to hear it, just don't go to the concert, whatever. Why doesn't the same apply to Dababy, you think?
It does. And because people are saying I no longer want to go to that concert, he's getting his shows canceled. It's this. It's
I mean, like, saying to the people, because you said Dababy's hurting people with his words. Why can't those people just don't listen to it? Or, like, don't go to the concert then?
I think that's
exactly... And let him say what he's going to say.
That's exactly what a lot of people are doing.
So that's just what we're doing. Like, yo, he can say whatever he wants to say, but, like, you better believe I'm not going to be there.
But, like, I also brought up the fact that because what he's doing is negative, it's times 10. That's why he's feeling it so hard. Like, at least Lil Nas X, yes, he's speaking his truth. Yes, what he's doing is, like, it went from 0 to 100 really, really fast. And he lost a lot of people. But there are a lot of people who are, like I'm trying to think of an example of a person, but like take you and I for example.
Yeah, he kind of lost me. He kind of lost me a little bit.
No, like he lost us a little bit, but like, does it anger us? No. Do whatever you want. Like if that's what you want to do, fine. His songs are pretty damn catchy. If I catch them on Pandora, I'm pretty happy with them. Yeah, like, I mean, we're the type of people that like we don't really care. Like, if that's what he wants to do, then that's what he wants to do, because what he's doing is not hurting anybody, and what he's doing is not negative. He's not promoting hate, so it's like, he's happy, right? He's trying to show people to be yourself, whatever. Dababy, what he's doing is not only negative, it is promoting hate. He's being offensive. He's hurting people. So, like, yeah, I unfollowed him. Not that I give either of them my money, Right. But, like, I don't want that kind of negativity on my newsfeed. I don't want to catch him on Instagram, like, it pops up that he's live and he's talking about F these Fs, and, like, I don't want to hear that.
This is straight ignorance.
Meanwhile, I'm on TikTok and I see Lil Nas X all the time, and I'm like, oh, Lord. Like, okay.
But bear in mind, it goes, like, both ways. I don't know. But, like, it tracks even if... Not necessarily like he's saying stuff about gay people or like saying negative things here and there. It also goes for those people who are toxic, like supporters of a thing and won't, you know what I mean? Like if someone who is just ultra super like, I don't know, conservative or something like, or feminist, and they're like, oh, you can't wear pink on certain days because that's anti whatever. Have these like all the way alt views. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same way you wouldn't want that on your feed either. Even though it is positive, but it's like, it's overly positive to the point where it's negative again.
If you're overly positive like that and you're being so specific, then you are excluding somebody at some point.
Exactly.
So I don't want that either.
Yeah.
Like, I'm all for women, right? Babe, you know this, and like I will speak my truth because it is what it is, and let people agree or disagree, but I am a woman. I am for women. Every time women accomplish something, I'm super excited. I follow AOC. I love her, but I don't follow any super feminist groups, the ones that are like, we don't need men, like because it's so far that way that I don't feel included in that either.
Well, I'll give you a perfect example.
Okay.
J.K. Rowling, the Harry Potter author, she's
like that.
pro woman
that
she's anti transgendered women
No.
because she's like, a real woman is born a woman, and I'm for, you know what I mean?
Like, I'm all
and she's
for
women's rights and women's, right to do whatever with their bodies.
She's the first one at the rallies.
But
she's not like you see, she's
not inclusive.
She's so for women that she's not including people who identify as women. Again, I have no direct connection to transgender people. Like, I don't know any, there's none in my family, but all that I know is that if someone is living their lives and living their truth and has nothing to do with me, by all means, go crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I think for me personally, I'm just all about living your truth and not bothering anybody else. Like, everyone always says, like, gay weddings, like, don't go. Like, just don't go. Like,
yeah,
that's
I'm
all
that I'm about. Same thing. Freedom. I call it freedom of choice. Like,
yeah, like, don't
as long as you can live all your choices and not directly stop anyone from living their choices, do whatever you want to do. But for me, that also looks like, if you want to be racist within your own home, if you want to be homophobic, you don't like Chinese people for a certain reason, you don't want to order Indian food, whatever.
Keep it to yourself.
Alright, do that, man.
And leave me
but
out
don't
of
go
it.
out there and don't start picketing. Don't start starting rallies and riots or like.
Because now you're bothering me.
Yeah, or like
that's really all that it is.
What do they call, like, petitions, like getting signatures to get a certain restaurant out of your community or whatever, because now you're impacting that person's life who has nothing to do with your ignorant beliefs. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to have ignorant beliefs, everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Do whatever you want.
Like, the freedom that entails. Like, I'm with that, because I would hate for someone
to take my choice away.
If I don't believe a certain thing, if I'm like, I think strawberries are gross. Yeah. And then everybody's like trying to force strawberries into like every food product or something like that, I would be miserable. Yeah. So that's what
everyone
this
is entitled to their choices and to their truths. But once you start to force it on other people, so you have gay people that paid for that ticket to go watch the baby.
That's where.
And like, I didn't come here for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I came here to listen to your songs.
Yeah, that's it. Because you got a lot of catchy songs, and for the most part, they're not homophobic. So I came here believing I was gonna have a really, really great time. You stopped your song, and the next thing you know, you're being offensive, and that's not why I'm here.
And some might say, like, you paid for Dababy, and you got Dababy. That's how he feels. And that's the person.
Pay for Dababy
then I won't pay for Dababy again.
That's it.
I have the right to cancel you at that point. Not cancel you, but like I have the right to not show up. I don't have to show you any kind of love anymore, because like you're not showing me love. So
I think I'm just all about like love and inclusivity and like what you're doing, as long as it doesn't bother me directly. Like,
even if it's negative.
Even if, like, negative, positive, it's your business. But when you make it, when I'm scrolling through my newsfeed and I see you going on some kind of anti-STD rant, it's like, why are we, like, what is the purpose? Yeah. As if these people have a choice and like the fact that, like a lot of people that.
Even if they had the choice.
Even if they have the choice, but like.
Mind your business.
But what about people that have HIV and AIDS from blood transfusion?
Oh, you're talking about AIDS? I thought you meant homosexual. Yeah,
no,
HIV
people,
STD, no one chooses to have that.
But I'm saying, like, what about people that have HIV or AIDS that got it from blood transfusions or because they struggle with drugs and, they're doing the best they can and they're at your concert and, I'm sorry, what did I do to you that
even if you got it from wilding out S&D in the parking lot or whatever.
Like that's not why I'm here.
There's no reason to attack somebody.
I just feel like he's judgmental and he's being hurtful, and I'm not about that, so just no thank you for me.
So, what are your final thoughts?
I love Dababy. I'm sad. Like, I really am sad. Like, I love Dababy. Like, I send pictures to Samantha all the time of him. Like, he's real short, but he's real pretty, and I like him. I think his songs are catchy. I think he blew up really, really fast, and it was nice to see because a lot of these little stupid people that I don't even know their names, like, I just don't feel like they have the bars to have the support that they have. And I feel like Dababy, he jumps on a song, and, like, he's good. So, like, it makes me sad to see him kind of go down this way. But at the same time, I'm happy that it happened this early on because now we get to see who you really are. And, like, you know, we were supporters of Rihanna for a very, very long time before we went to the Barclays Center to watch her. You know what I mean? And I don't regret that because she's never done anything too crazy. I'm happy that it didn't get to the point where Ava's listening to him. And now it's like, yo, you can't listen to him anymore. You know?
Unfortunately, for me, I'm probably not going to stop listening to his music.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, my whole thing is like...
I'm not into canceling either.
Yeah, it's just people...
It's just sad.
I separate, whether it's right or wrong, people will have their opinions on this, but I kind of separate the people from the art.
Yeah, you and I
just being an artist, like myself, like I can separate myself from my art. Not that I say anything like ignorant or like offensive or hurtful to anybody, into the world, but it's like the art. Once they release that art, it kind of becomes its own thing.
You like T.I., like I know. Like you don't like him the person, but you like his music. I hate T.I. as
a person. I hate him so much, but I love his music. Like I still listen. I still bump T.I. I still bump Rick Ross, Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? Like R. Kelly, no. Just for the record.
Because we watch plenty of documentaries.
Because that's just like outlandish. Yeah. But like I can within reason like separate somebody from some stuff, and I understand where it's coming from, even though it's like wrong, even though like it's a sad truth. But like I understand that like he was grown up, like he grew up that way, being from the South, being African American, being in hip hop culture. His parents are probably really religious. Like,
can I just real quick? I'm tired of just grown ass men or grown ass people just using the way they grew up as a reason to be toxic.
Yeah, I mean, use your brain.
Like you're an adult now. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, everyone has grown up with something that they chose to either take with them into adulthood or leave behind. Like a lot of people are broken. Most of us are broken. And it's like, at some point you need to pull yourself up by the bootstraps.
I know right from wrong. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
I see things and I don't have to.
It doesn't matter how you grew up.
Like,
you and I grew up really, really well. So, like, we don't necessarily have these, like, broken, disgusting, toxic habits. But at some point you need to just grow up and take responsibility for yourself and be able to say, like, I grew up with my grandmother saying, you know, f this and whatever. And it's like, that person did nothing to me, so... You know, like, I'm just really, really tired of, like, people being adults and being like, well, I grew up this way. Like, yo, you're 32. Like, enough. Yeah. You're not growing up anymore. You're an adult. You need to be able to
That's facts
to decide.
Too. I don't know. I'm not going to go to the concert, like, the baby concert anyways. But, like, I'll probably still listen to his music. Like, I wish he didn't say that. I hope, because, like, just what he said, and I do believe in that last part that he said in his second apology, where it's like people will try to destroy you before you even get a chance to like learn from your mistake.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not about like instantly cutting somebody off, never listening to what they say again.
Yeah, like if you think I'm gonna start skipping his songs in
the
car,
or like search stuff they said on Twitter from 13 years ago and try to like do something to like kick it back up and like people can change. You know what I mean? So like. I just hope from here he really does learn a lesson and it's not all just like BS. Because if he continues to keep on, like, if it's every month it's a new Dababy homophobic rant popping up in the news, you better believe I'm going to stop listening too. Because I get tired of it.
Are these your final thoughts?
That's my final thought.
Yeah.
So
it just makes me sad. Like, it makes me sad to watch him kind of go down this. Because it can get really bad. Like, nowadays with, like, social media and the way... people kind of jump on the bandwagon together. People can really band together to no longer buy his albums, and he can really go from being what could have been something amazing to like crying and begging on live because he ruined his life.
But that's a separate video.
That's a separate video.
What do you want to say to the people?
I don't ever do this right. Like, subscribe. Honestly, like, subscribe, share, reshare, but, like,
comment.
Really, really, really join the conversation, because this was a really good one. And honestly, we just want to know if, like, you agree or if you disagree. Not necessarily into Lil Nas X and into Dababy and whether each one are right or wrong, because we said let them live their truths. But do you agree with allowing people to live their truths as long as it doesn't bother you directly?
Yeah.
Because, like,
And, like, to what extent... they can say their opinions and deal with the consequences, and like how responsible are we to let them speak it?
Yeah.
All right. Killed this. Next. That was you.
I need more coffee. I wanted a venti, but I felt like I would have had to pee in the middle of the video.